When it comes to payments, security is absolutely everything, right? So how can a business lock down its transactions without having to rip out and replace its entire system? Well, today we're diving into a really powerful solution for that, PAX's POS link and what's called a semi-integrated approach. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by breaking down what semi-integration even means. Then we'll pull back the curtain on the brains of the operation, the POS link API. After that, we'll get hands-on and walk through the setup and even take a quick look at how this tech has evolved. And finally, we'll connect all the dots and see why this is such a huge win for payment security. So let's kick things off with the big question. What exactly is semi-integration? You hear this term thrown around a lot, but really getting the distinction is the key to understanding all the benefits. I want you to think of your payment terminal like a secure fortress. It's completely separate from your main point of sale system. Now, the POS system can send messages over to the fortress. Things like, hey, charge $50, but it never ever gets the keys to the kingdom. It never touches that sensitive credit card data. And this right here is the crucial difference. In a semi-integration, that terminal is a dedicated payment specialist. It does all the heavy lifting, all the secure stuff. But in a full integration, it's treated more like just another peripheral, like a printer or a scanner. And that means the main POS system has to manage everything, including all the security risks that come along with it. So now that we've got the what, let's dig into the how. The real magic that makes all this secure communication happen is something called the PAO link API. This isn't just any messenger. It's a special kind of messenger that's only designed to carry instructions, like start a $50 sale. It's kind of like a courier who can only carry sealed envelopes with instructions, but is physically blocked from ever touching the valuable contents inside. That's the secret sauce to its security. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? By creating this super strict separation, you massively reduce your security burden. And, importantly, the scope of your PCI compliance. And that's that whole set of security rules for protecting card info. For a business, that means way less complexity and, frankly, lower costs. And check this out. Here we can see the really elegant design of the newer POS Link 2. It's all broken down into these 3 clean modules. You've got POS Core handling the basic communication, POS Link Admin for managing the device, and then POS Link Semi-Integration for the actual transactions. It's this clean, modular approach that makes the whole thing so robust and secure. Okay, we've seen the blueprint, so now it's time to get our hands dirty. Let's walk through how you actually configure the terminal and bring this whole system to life. You might be surprised to see the setup is actually pretty straightforward. It just follows these 4 key steps. Now, the exact screens might look a little different on your specific terminal, but the logic behind it is always the same. So let's go through the most common setups right now. We're going to start with the one you'll probably run into the most, an Ethernet or TCP/IP connection. This is what you use when your terminal and your POS system are sitting on the same local network, basically talking to each other through your internet router. Okay, so once you get into the communication menu, your first stop is telling the terminal how it's going to talk to the cash register. And that's exactly what ECR Comm type stands for, Electronic Cash Register Communication Type. Next up, the terminal is going to ask you to choose your connection method. You can see a few options here for direct cables like USB or a CON port, but since we're doing a network setup, we're going to go ahead and select Ethernet. And here it is, the final piece of the puzzle, the port number. The best way to think about this is like an apartment number in a giant building. Your POS system needs to know which specific door to knock on to talk to the terminal. So both systems have to agree on the exact same port number, like 1009 you see here, for that connection to work. But what if your terminal and your POS are sitting right next to each other and you're just using a direct cable? Well, don't worry, the process is just as simple. So instead of an IP address and a port, you'll just pick the physical COM port the cable is plugged into, and then you'll match the baud rate. Now, the baud rate is just a fancy term for the speed at which they talk to each other. It's absolutely crucial that both devices are set to the same speed. Otherwise, it's like one person talking a mile a minute while the other is talking in slow motion. They're just not going to understand each other. Now that we've seen how easy this setup is, it's really worth taking a second to appreciate how far this technology has come, especially for anyone out there who's had to work with some of the older PAX integrations. You see, POS Link 2 is a major leap forward. The old version, POS Link 1, it used this single kind of clunky software development kit, or SDK, where just everything was bundled together. The new version, though, has this much cleaner, decoupled model. Now, each function has its own dedicated interface, and that means developers can integrate it faster with way fewer headaches and a lot less chance for errors. It's a huge improvement. All right, let's bring it all home now and circle back to the single most important reason for doing all of this. The biggest benefit of this semi-integrated approach, the security advantage. The key benefits here are crystal clear. Number one, you slash your PCI compliance scope, because that sensitive card data never even gets near your main POS system. The API itself acts like a secure firewall, blocking any weird access. The whole design is modern and modular, which is just inherently more robust. And finally, the payment app talks directly to the processor, creating a secure encrypted channel from end to end. So you see, this whole approach isn't just about a technical setup. It's a fundamental shift in how we secure payments right at the point of sale. It's about building a smarter, a more resilient, and ultimately a much safer payment ecosystem for absolutely everyone. Thanks for watching.